I don't remember how the whole thing started. It doesn't really matter to me all that much. Whatever the case, it ended in a dare. A dare that saw me breaking and entering. It was about a week, maybe a few days less into the summer holiday. We were walking to Michael's house, which was about a half a mile away from my high school, when we spotted one of the fences that bordered the field had collapsed, for whatever stupid reason. We came to discussing whether someone could break in. Somehow the whole thing escalated into my friends, David and Mike, daring me to do it. In some moment of hot-headed brashness, I took on the challenge. But I knew something they didn't. My secret weapon. The month before, I'd been messing around trying to open the windows in Miss Marilene's class and realized that the one second from the back, right by the bookcase, didn't lock. I have no idea why we bothered to wait until 1 in the morning to attempt our bold endeavor. I guess it just felt right. The three of us stood there and I was bricking it, putting on a show that I wasn't sweating it a bit. I tried to stall going in, but once we were stood there and the two of them were looking expectantly at me, I decided to pull up my pants and get on with it. I awkwardly scaled the half-collapsed fence that bounced under my weight before I dropped onto the other side. I dusted myself off and shot a summary grin back to my friends before creeping towards the old building. I kept low as I made my way across the field, through the parking lot, and up into Miss Marilene's classroom window. I put my palms to the glass and spent a few minutes trying to get the right amount of pressure and direction to make the thing slide open enough for me to slip my hand in and lift it all the way up. With me, I had a small can of paint we bought for a few bucks at a hardware store. My quest was to tag one of the hallways. What I wrote was up to me. I made my way out of the classroom door and into the corridor. I took some consideration into where I was putting it. I didn't want to go to all this hard work and have it not be seen. I landed on going down the corridor where all the lockers were, so no one could avoid seeing it when they all returned after the summer. Even though I'd made it that far, I was still sweating with anxiety. I knew there would be no one there over the summer, and I was sure we didn't have any cameras in our school, but I still couldn't shake the danger. I was breaking and entering, and if I had been caught, it would have been huge. How would I explain it to my parents, let alone the police? I crept as steadily as I could muster through the darkness. Shadows from the moon cast here and there, playing tricks on my haywire mind. I was physically shaking with adrenaline. I reached the corridor I was looking for and found the perfect place, right beside Mr. Carty's math classroom. Trembling, I withdrew my can of paint and started daubing my words. David Cho and Michael Patrick were here. I had to hold back from giggling at my stupid plan. Yeah, let's see them explain this one next semester. That was when I heard a heavy bang behind me and I leapt about 16 feet into the air. I whipped myself around to see who was behind me, my legs more akin to spaghetti than bone. There was nothing, just the lockers. I didn't dare move, except for my shaking knees. Then there started a low, raspy murmur, echoing down the corridor and emanating from the lockers right behind me. I wanted to scream, to shriek, to do anything. It came again, and the lockers rattled. This time, I didn't stick around. I bolted. I scrambled on my feet, bouncing off the walls and through the hallways. The moaning echoed behind me. I reached the window and barely managed to get the thing open with my shaking hands. I jumped out and landed on the ground outside. I couldn't hear the sound anymore, but it didn't stop me from tearing like a bat out of hell to the fence and scrambling over while crying out to my friends. The moment they saw me running, they fled, assuming someone was chasing me. I can't blame them. I would have too. I got over the fence with the fervor and speed of an Olympian and was down the street before I fell down, panting on the dirt. Dave and Michael never came back to get me. Unsurprisingly, I kept the whole event to myself, only telling Michael and Dave, who only laughed at me, saying, "Dude, you came out there like a shark was chasing you. Man, you should have seen your face. It was beautiful." Then came Tuesday. Michael sent me the text. "Get down here now. They found something at the school." I arrived to find an ambulance out in front of the gates. People were crowding around. Someone was being wheeled out just as I arrived, and a teary-eyed woman threw herself at a uniformed man, cutting through to see who was on the stretcher. It took a little time for the full story to be gathered. He was narcoleptic, the kid. He would fall asleep any time, any place, and was bullied and treated terribly by the other kids for it. He'd been missing officially since Monday, but hadn't actually been heard from since school ended. It wasn't reported sooner because his parents were on holiday for 2 weeks and only got back on the Sunday night. Some kids had shut him in one of the lockers on the last day, and the kid must have passed out. No one realized he was in there as they all grabbed their stuff, joked and laughed, all meters from the sleeping boy. A search party found him when they went to look inside the school and decided to check his locker. He was dead when they got to him.